Hello guys, my name is Lewahang Adams from the Mamelodi Initiative, and this is the YLC digital program for 2021, and I'm here with my first guest for the channel, and I will kindly let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's up, family? My name is Godwin Ndabandaba. A lot of people call me Sir Godwin, Sir G, Ndaba Squared, News, you know. Everyone has a nickname for me. I'm currently a student. I study at UP. I'm studying software engineering. Okay. So all the techie stuff, 4IR stuff, the boring stuff, you know, all the geeky, nerdy stuff. That's what people say. Okay. I'm also one of the directors at Mamelodi Initiative. Okay. Born and bred in Mamelodi. Okay. Yeah, 012, you know what it is.
Okay. And then when was your first encounter with the Mamelodi Initiative? How did you hear about the program?
So it's actually a very interesting story. I was one of the first few students of the Mamelodi Initiative. So how it started was I was in high school. Then a guy came from the US. His name is Richard. He's one of the co-founders of the Mamelodi Initiative. Okay. Asked me if I needed some help with academics. Okay. Then that's how it basically started. He tutored me and a few friends. Eventually I invited more friends. Like, oh, you brought new people. So okay. It eventually became such a big program over time.
So it started off as an after-school program, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, I started off as a small tutoring, peer-to-peer kind of things. Very small, very minute. And then it eventually became such a big thing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And then how long have you been a part of the program, both as a student and as a key volunteer for the organization?
Sure. Hey man, that's quite a lot of years. So I started as a student in 2007.
Okay.
And I matriculated, came to varsity, and eventually came back to be a volunteer, and then eventually became a co-director. So that's more than 10 years in the program.
Yeah. And what would you say the impact the organization has had on the community of Mamelodi and as well as other communities as well?
So the impact that the Mamelodi Initiative has had on the community is immeasurable. You look at kids that came through the program from first coming in grade 8 all the way to grade 12 and ending up in varsity and all that, coming back as volunteers. So in a number of ways, we've instilled the spirit of volunteerism. We've made sure kids go through high school and make it to varsity. We encourage the community to better itself through a lot of community development that we do through our numerous programs. Yeah, that's basically it. The biggest thing that we're doing is instilling hope.
All right. And then what are some of the programs, the yearly programs that you guys run throughout the year?
So we have quite a number of programs. So we have our YLC program, which is the Youth Leadership Council. Okay. We have our computer literacy classes. That's the technological stuff. So that's introduction to computing, advanced computing, and introduction to programming. We have our flagship programs, which are the winter and summer programs. Okay. That's during the winter and the summer holidays. And what did I leave? We have Road to Finals. That's our after school program, tutoring program for high school kids. And lastly, we have our new program that we have. It's one of the best ones at the moment, in line with COVID regulations and the current state of the country. It's called Ikasi Learning 2.0. I'm actually a big fan of the name myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically a tutoring program that's fully automated. It runs on iPads with artificial intelligence and all of that. It's the cool stuff, man, cool stuff.
So you spoke about a number of programs that you run throughout the year, and I'd like you to expand on the Youth Leadership Council specifically.
Okay, that's also one of my favorite programs. So the Youth Leadership Council is a program that mostly focuses on leadership. Yeah. So the Youth Leadership Council, it's a program that runs once a month. Okay. Throughout the year. So what we do is we basically go through a leadership course for the high school kids. Okay. And we've seen the impact of this. I personally went through the Youth Leadership Council at a very young age. So growing up, I wasn't very sociable. Yeah. I was very shy, you could say. I wasn't very outspoken. But through the Leadership Council, I eventually started learning the key leadership skills, like how to be more outspoken, how to plan better. So a lot of skills acquired from there. I ended up personally being one of the leaders in my school. Okay. So I was in the school council, and eventually, like, it had a greater impact. Over the years, I came back to be a mentor in the Youth Leadership Council. So how it works is it runs on a mentor-mentee kind of system.
Okay.
So a student would be assigned a mentor who's somehow in line with their interests and ideal or desired field of study in the future. So then how that works is then the mentor can always help the student through their high school journey,
Yes.
and help them into like going into varsity and all of that. There's one of the students that we mentored through the Youth Leadership Council. Her name is Rachel. She came in very quiet, something similar to how I am, how I was at the time. She grew up in the program, got to matric, and eventually got into the University of Pretoria. The student was mostly quiet, like you could see, over the years we could see the difference, you know.
Okay.
A student starts off very quiet, very self-centric,
Yeah.
and then they start getting these leadership skills, they start being out there and doing more in the community. And then now she's doing accounting science, doing exceptionally well. Splendid work.
My first encounter with the YLC was in 2018, and when I first joined the program, I was very reserved, I kept very much to myself. I was in my own shell. I was extremely shy, and I struggled to communicate with not only my fellow leaders, but with the normal person walking in the street. But I was encouraged through different challenges and activities to sort of get out of my shell, to start exploring different areas, because the only way you can grow is if you do more than what you know today. So I was encouraged to be more outspoken, to express myself through various ways, and I can say that today I am a much better leader than I was in 2018, if ever I was. And one of the key lessons I learned in the Youth Leadership Council is it is an environment that stimulates mental, academic, emotional, and spiritual growth as well. You are paired with someone who is capable of growing you in multiple ways, and you get challenged to grow, and the more you learn, the more you become a greater version of yourself. So those are one of the key lessons that I learned in the YLC. And as a person who was a mentee and now is a mentor, I always try to equip the same lessons and life skills that I was equipped with when I was still a YLC mentee back in 2018. I remember one of the first lessons that we learned in the YLC was about leadership. So Godwin, I'm going to give you 4 random words, and I'd like you to mention the first word that comes to mind when I mention each one. Okay?
Lovely stuff.
First one is serving.
Community.
Community engagement.
Development.
Leader.
Jesus.
Nelson Mandela.
Visionary.
CR17.
Cyril Ramaphosa. Cupcake. Family meeting. God bless the world. What does he say? God bless South Africa and its people.
Okay. So we went through a couple of words based on leadership, and I'd like to ask Godwin, in your opinion, what is a leader?
That's a very interesting question. In my opinion, a leader is someone that can motivate a group of people towards congressing and acting towards achieving a common goal. So if I expand on that, a leader is basically someone that can look at people and realize that the minds of people are not vessels that you have to fill, but more like wood that you can ignite and start seeing change. That's a leader.
You mentioned igniting wood and not just filling up vessels, and I found that very profound. In all the definitions that I've gone through of leadership, it has not been something that I've come across. But one of the key definitions that I've learned of being a leader is having a vision of a certain event, gathering resources as well as skills and the people around you, ensuring that they have an idea of what their vision is, and passionately motivating them towards achieving that vision.
So, Mr. Adams, most in simple terms, a leader is influencer, star, focalistic.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel it. Yeah.
So we mentioned influencers. Okay. So what are some of the qualities that these influencers have?
So if you look at these influencers, the commonalities between influencers and leaders are the specific attributes that I'm going to mention. They are outspoken. They know how to command the crowd well. They are visionaries. They see well into the future, and they'll execute. They have good execution. That means that comes with proper planning.
Yeah.
Those are qualities of a leader. Those are qualities of an influencer. They are ambitious. They dream, and they don't just dream. They dream big.
You mentioned ambitious. You mentioned they dreaming big, and I love all of those. And one key figure that I really look up to is Patrice Motsepe, because he dreams big and he has a vision of what he wants to achieve. Who recently became president of CAF, and one of his key points that he made in his manifesto was to improve the quality of African football. That's having a vision. That's drawing a crowd, drawing in the right stakeholders in towards your vision, and ensuring that you work towards achieving it. Another key quality that I think a leader should have is competitive zeal, having that competitive edge, because in many aspects you will be up against a lot of external forces that might be doing the same things as you. So having that competitive zeal, the willingness to want to achieve and do better than you did yesterday or in your previous tasks, I think is an important quality to have as a leader.
Yeah, and self-motivation. Like, look, who would have thought that someone as big as Elon Musk is actually from right here in Pretoria?
Yeah.
So tracking back to YLC and the kids in YLC, they look at these people and they're like, it's possible. And that's what we do. That's why we're there, to make them realize that it's possible. That the world just doesn't end around Mamelodi.
Yeah.
There's possibilities beyond our wildest imaginations.
Endless possibilities.
Endless possibilities. But it starts with a dream. It starts with believing in yourself. It starts in seeing some of the leadership skills that you have and self-motivating.
Exactly.
We are there to catalyze the process.
Wow.
And catalyze the process of ideological metamorphosis. People must have a significant ideological change to move from where they are to somewhere else.
So you spoke about key leadership qualities for different types of leaders. And one of the key lessons that we learned in the YLC, in the initial phase of YLC, is we get to learn about different leadership styles, and how one can identify their leadership style is through a personality assessment test, which we'll post a link to in the video below. And in this key personality assessment test, you get to learn more about yourself, your skills, your interests, your strengths and weaknesses, which are very important in identifying the type of leader that you are and your leadership style, so that you know what you are capable of, what you can achieve, and some of the challenges that you may face, because it's very important to know yourself. So another key concept that I think is important in having like a quality of a leader is self-awareness. So if you know both your strengths, your weaknesses, your interests, and what you are good at, you become more self-aware, you become aware of who you are. All right, so Godwin, do you know what personality type you are?
I took that test some while back, while back, that's back in the days when chicken had teeth and they could still fly. Just joking. But yeah, it's a long time ago. I don't remember. I think I'm somewhere around the superlogical type, the astronomer kind, your Neil Armstrongs, those kinds of guys. Yeah, but I'm glad you put the link in the description, because I can go take the test again. So
wonderful.
Shout out.
Godwin, thank you so much for joining us today. You have been an incredible guest, and we hope that you continue to grow as a leader in many aspects of your personal and professional life.
Thank you, thank you.
We've just heard from Godwin, and now let's hear from the community of Mamelodi. On which date do we celebrate Freedom Day?
I think it's 21 April, I think. I'm not sure.
Freedom Day is celebrated on the 27th of April.
And then when did we start celebrating Freedom Day?
Freedom Day, it was a long time ago when white people were discriminating against us, giving us less favorable love. So as Mandela fought for us, we have freedom. And then we can celebrate freedom each and every year. So it's where we celebrate our Freedom Day.
So that I'm not quite sure.
1990 or 1994 or somewhere.
1994, I guess.
Which liberation movement leader played a key role in ensuring that South Africa becomes a democratic country?
I think Nelson Mandela.
I think it's Mr. Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
What, in your own words, does freedom mean to you?
Freedom, in my own words, freedom is what can I say? Can you go first, please? Let me think.
I'll say
How Nelson Mandela fought for us so that we can have, so that we can go to school, and then the country's wealth. People shall enjoy the country's wealth. All shall enjoy Human Rights Day, and there shall be work and security, and as the doors of learning culture shall be open, and there shall be houses and security and comfort.
Freedom has a very big impact to me, especially to the youth as a whole, because races are being treated, different races are being treated equally. So that even due to education, we get free education these days, and we are treated equally with white.
I think it's overwhelming because I get to know that I have the freedom to, I have the right to do, I have the right to education. That's a freedom to us. When you think of what black people used to face in the past, it was difficult for them through education and that. But because of freedom right now, it's very easy for us. It's not like old times. So that's a freedom to us. Yes.
Yeah, basically that's what he just said.
Freedom ngithi ngoba sikhululekile siyazi ukuzenzela izinto esizifunayo ngalesi isikhathi besingazi ukuthi singayenzana, ungakhona ukuhamba, ungakhona ukwenza lutho. Usebenza ushayiwa. So manje si free, sikhona ukuba le moto ngalesi isikhathi umuntu omnyama bengamelanga abe le moto. Kodwa manje omunye lomunye umuntu u-free. Uyayibona? Yakufana nalesi isikhathi. Yeah.
I-freedom iyasikhulula thina abantu abamnyama, ngoba abantu abamnyama bebacindezelekile bangakhona ukuzenzela. Manje sinama opportunity ukuthi ungazisebenza, uvula ibhizinisi, if ukhona uye phambili nawe ukhona uqasha abanye abantu bakusize.
So le ka nako tsa gone banong as batho bo botlhe ba ba phelang mo country ya rona ba free.
Ba free bona, kodwa ka basi free ngoba imisebenzi ayikho. Into enkinga yomsebenzi asinayo. Imisebenzi iyo nje inkinga esinayo. Kuba free khona si free, kodwa imisebenzi sibulaya indlala ngoba sisebenzi.
Alright, ke a leboga. And then go baneng go le botlhokwa re celebrate Freedom Month or re celebrate Freedom Day as Democratic South Africa?
Kufanele isisi celebrate ngoba inkathi lezi ebebaphila kizo laba abaqala bezinzima kakhulu. Umuntu omnyama beyacindezelekile kodwa sikhumbula isikhathi lesa lapho bebahlukumezeka khona abantu abamnyama banganawo amalungelo kwenza noma yini abayifunayo.
Alright, ke a leboga ma. So we've heard some very interesting opinions from the Mamelodi community. So now we challenge you. Now it's your turn. We challenging you to explain or describe rather what is a leader in your opinion. What are some of the important leadership skills that a leader should have, leadership qualities as well as leadership styles. We're challenging you to also ask a community member, an older community member, in the community of Mamelodi, what is Freedom Day and what is the importance of it, as well as what changes have occurred since the dawn of democracy in 1994. We're going to post a WhatsApp link below and you will send those videos in that WhatsApp contact. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join us in our next episode as we go deeper into leadership, go deeper into more concepts about leadership, getting the opinions, the critical opinions of various members of the community of Mamelodi. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and share with your friends and your family.